Hey guys! In this video, I wanted to talk about some of the tips and strategies that you could use to manage your time on the NCA exam. The first ever NCA exam that I wrote, I remember was torts, and I wasn't able to manage my time properly. I remember starting the exam thinking that I have allocated the time properly, and towards the end, I realized that I didn't have more than 5 minutes for the last question. So, I mean, I did end up finishing the entire exam, but I think that there are some strategies and tips that I can share so that you don't run into the same problem. And one of the most important thing in passing these courses is that never leave the NCA exam incomplete. If you are leaving an exam incomplete, it shows the examiner that you're not able to manage your time properly, and that can be, one of the reasons why you might not pass the course. So always remember to make sure that you're able to, allocate time according to marks, and just make sure that you're able to, effectively manage your time. So in this video, I want to talk about 3 strategies that you could use to manage your time properly, so that you don't miss out a question and you're able to finish your exam on time. The first strategy that I have is, first of all, when you get the exam questions, read the questions properly. Take a look at how many marks each question has. So let's just say that one question is worth 30 marks and the other question is worth 10 marks. And then there are 2 other questions that are worth 5 marks each. So 30 marks, 10 marks, 5 marks, and then 5 marks each. Now, once you read the exam question, divide the time properly. So if you have, let's just say, I don't know, I think you have 4 hours now for the exam. So you want to make sure that you spend more time on the question that is 30 marks, and then and then less time on the question that's 10 marks. And then also when the question is 5 marks, then obviously you're going to be spending a lot less time than that. Don't ever start your question, don't ever start writing the answer as soon as you get the question paper. First of all, allocate your time. Use a pen or a pencil on your notebook. Just say, on question number 1, I'm going to be spending 1.5 hours, and this is going to be the time that I will stop. So you can just put out let's just say that your exam starts at 9 a.m. So you put down on the paper saying 10:30 a.m. I will stop and I will move on to the next question. So no matter wherever you are, you need to wrap up and then move on to the next question. So strategy number 1 is always take a look at the exam, always allocate time depending on how many mark each question has. And once you allocate the time, then just follow it. Don't ever be like, oh, it's okay, just 5 more minutes, just 5 more minutes. It adds up. So always follow the timeline that you've made, and then you should be fine. Strategy in terms of managing your time is always do the calculation based off as if you had 5 or 10 minutes less than you do. Give yourself some time so that once you finish the exam, let's just say 5 minutes earlier, go back again to the question paper and see that you've answered all the questions. So, you always want to give yourself 5 minutes just to see if everything's okay. You finished the entire exam and you're not missing anything, or just go back and see if anything, just you want to add something to the answers, or just to gather everything together. I used to do that back in the day, and it was always helpful. So after my first exam, where I had terrible time management skills at the time, for the next courses, I always did that. I always gave myself 5 to 10 minutes in the end to just actually look back and see if everything is done properly. Maybe add a few things that are coming to my mind towards the end, because in the end, when you're done your exam, you feel less stressed out because it's over. Sometimes you have other points or something that you want to add to question number 1, or you want to go back and add those things after. So again, this worked for me. I don't know if it's going to work for you, but if you feel like you want to try this out, please feel free to do it. But just make sure that you're prepared for it. And I think this would be a strategy that I have is, I think it's very obvious, is always keep a check on the time. Don't just keep writing, and then look up and it's 2 hours and then you only have 3 hours for the exam. So always, after a couple of minutes, always check the clock. Maybe have a clock in front of you. Now that you're writing the exams online, make sure that you have a big clock in front of you where you just need to look up and you just know the time. At the time when I was writing the exam and you actually had to go in person, um, we had big clocks in front of us. So all you did is look up and then you'd see the big clock and you'll know what time it is. So don't ever, always just keep checking the time. I mean, you don't have to check it after every 2 minutes, but after writing a couple of paragraphs and just getting through some issues or points, just maybe look up and see what time it is to make sure you're on track. To be very honest with you, I learned a lot of time management skills when I wrote the Ontario bar exams. And these are the skills that I've learned, obviously, writing the NCA exams as well as the bar exams. So I think that these tips would be helpful. And if you know them beforehand, you can always prepare for it. And it would probably be on your mind when you're writing the exam. So I hope that this was helpful. If you are looking for additional help, for instance, sample questions and answers, feel free to check out Law Study Kit. I've drafted some questions and answers myself. Feel free to check it out and see if that's something that would be helpful to you. Thanks, guys, for watching. I hope that you're staying safe and healthy, and please do not forget to subscribe to my channel.